4 little, 5 little, 6 little Indians, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little Indians, 10 little Indian boys, 10 little, 9 little, 8 little Indians, 7 little, 6 little, 5 little Indians, 4 little, 3 little, 2 little Indians, 1 little Indian boy. Play some more. Keep going. Move it up to another octave. That's it. Can I try this song before we start? Okay, first song I'll be doing is Marching Steps. First song I'll be doing is Marching Steps. Here we go. Second song will be a Mozart melody. Second song will be Mary Had a Little Lamb. Third song will be Mary Had a Little Lamb. My name is Jessica Avery, and I'll be doing 3 songs on the clarinet. And my second, I'll be two verses of Mary Hill and the Lamb, a low and a high. Low one first. Low verse. The date is December 23rd, 1994. Almost Christmas.
Tell them what you're going to sing.
We're going to sing Jingle Bells, one in American and one in German. Here we go. Jingle Bell. Well, we're going to start with German first. Glock, clang, cling, glock, clang, cling, playing a fortune fort. Oh, wie schön es den Fahren mit den Pferden Ohr zu Ohr.
That is nice. Sing it once more, please.
Oh, glock, clang, cling, glock, clang, cling, kling a fortune fort. Oh, wie schön es den Fahren mit den Pferden Ohr zu Ohr. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride on a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride on a one-horse open sleigh.
Clap now. Dum, 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 dum. Everybody clap.
Do, 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 do.
Sing.
Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride on a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Aha! Oh. Oh, no, you have to hear some of that, don't we?
Mike smiled and patted Jazz's flank. I'll be the first to admit that she's made remarkable strides in her training, he said. You've done a great job with her. She really looks like an inventor. Thanks, Dad, Christine said, her cheeks flushing with pride. She respected her father's opinion immensely, and it warmed her all over to know that he approved of how she had trained Jazz. The following weekend, Christine's alarm went off 4 in the morning. It was 2 hours away, so they had to leave in plenty of time to get there and get Folly ready up for Christine's dressage program began. Hurriedly, they threw on their pair of jeans and a sweatshirt and then raced downstairs. Half an hour later, the McLean's family-sized minivan pulled up to the Nelson stable. Christina's father had borrowed the McLean's car because the Whitebrook pickup couldn't hold itself. Christine, Rebecca, Kevin, and Samantha. The minivan easily pulled Whitebrook's 2-horse trailer. Samantha was waiting for them outside. Rebecca and Christine ran to the barn to collect their mounts. In no time, Rebecca was leading Margarel, and Christina had Folly, and they were heading out to the trailer. As they walked into the dim stable light, Christina looked down at Folly's leg, then frowned. Out in the yard, Samantha and Christine's dads were leaning against the van, chatting quietly. Dad, Christine said unhappily, once they were outside, I think you better take a look at Folly. He seems to be favoring his right foreleg. I was hoping it was just an early morning crick, but it's lasted all the way out here from the barn. Her father knelt next to the Folly and expectantly ran his hand down the Folly's leg. He frowned. Chris, there's a tiny bit of swelling here. Was he at all lame yesterday after your work? No, of course not, Kristen said, a worried expression on her face. I would have mentioned it if he had been. But he was perfectly fine. Samantha looked at Christine sadly. Chris, I don't know if Foley can be ridden today. With a sinking heart, Christina knew that Samantha was right. So much for her dreams about Newgate. I guess Ross gets the last laugh this year, she thought. I swallowed and sighed. She swallowed and sighed. Everyone was disappointed. Even her mother had setbacks. Christina knew her mother would want her to take the disappointment in stride and just look ahead for the future. Sometimes it's really hard, Mom. Well, she said slowly, trying not to show how crushed she was. Let me put Folly away and ask Tor to check him out. Then we should get going. So Rebecca doesn't miss today. Rebecca had been listening to their conversation. Oh, Chris, I can't believe it, she cried. You have to compete in the Newgate. We've been looking forward to for months, and I don't want to do it by myself. I can't, Christina said freshly. There's no way I can risk injury Folly. Look, we'll just go, as we planned, and watch you compete. That's be just as fine. She lied. Rebecca rolled her eyes, then faced. Can't you borrow another horse? How? Christina said. I haven't been training any other horse. I can't just compete on the strange horse, Cold. Then her eyes took unless she just had an idea. She didn't even know whether to mention it out loud. Unless what? Her father prompted. Dad, do you think there's any way? Then she stopped and shook her head. I'm crazy for thinking about it. Never mind, let's go put Folly away and then... What were you going to say? Rebecca demanded. Christine looked. Well, she began, slightly looked at Samantha. I wonder if I could ride Jazz. I've been training her just as hard as Folly, even harder. Samantha looked concerned. She's awfully green. Yeah, Christina said thoughtfully, but she's really settled down lately. There's no way we could win today, not after only 6 months training, but I'm sure we would be okay. It wouldn't hurt her, and I could still compete. What do you think? Please say yes, Christina thought. Now, what the idea had come to her. She felt a growing excitement. She knew that they had enough time to swing by Whitebrook and collect Jazz before heading out on the highway towards Huntington. Samantha and Christina's dad glanced at each other. She has been training amazingly well, Samantha said slowly, and I know she can do it. Christina said, please give us a chance. After a long moment, her dad finally nodded. If you want to try it, he said, it's okay with me. You and Sammy know that Jazz is capable of. Oh, thanks, Dad, Christina said, throwing her arms around him. Thanks. It'll be fine. I know it. It'll be great. Then turning, she quickly walked Foley back to his stall. Tor came over and she explained how Foley was favoring his right foreleg. Tor promised to look him over then wished her luck at the show with Jazz. Be careful, he said, giving her a hug. I will, super careful, she promised, then turned and ran back to the truck. In was 20 minutes, Jazz was secured inside a horse trailer next to Margot, and they were on their way to Huntington. 2 hours later, they arrived on the fairgrounds in Huntington, West Virginia. The dressler competition was the afternoon. The following day would be cross-country and then jumping events. As soon as they unloaded the horses, Christina checked in with the show organizers. Then she and Rebecca got Margot and Jazz settled in their temporary stalls. His tail looks messy. Do it again. Christina and Rebecca turned to each other and rolled her eyes and heard the bossy voice. Craning her head, Christina looked down the stall aisles and saw Ross standing giving orders to a young woman. Unlike Christina and Rebecca, who, with Gavin's help, were braiding their own horses' manes and tails, Ross had one of Townsend Acres' grooms doing the work. I guess he's too important to braid his own horse's mane and tail. Christina murmured, "Yep, braiding is only for peasants like us," Rebecca said cheerfully, twisting a bright blue ribbon through Marvell's braid. Forget about him. He'll try," Christina said, gritted teeth. Later that day, Christina watched Rebecca perform her dressage routine from the area they called on deck, which was part of the saddling ring. Since Christina was riding right after Rebecca, she was already on Jazz, ready to go. She was studying, ignoring Ross, who was circling Justice in the far corner. Rebecca and Marvell did very well, Christina was glad to see. As Rebecca rode out of the dresser ring, Christina tightened the strap on her hard hat and prepared to go out. On the far side of the ring, she could see that her father and Sammy sitting in the bleachers with the programs in binoculars. Seeing them made Christine feel a little better. As she was about to call to going in the ring, Ross and Justice sidled up next to her. "I heard you were trying to retrain a dude flat racer," he sneered. "You must be pretty desperate." "I have a horse I want," Christine answered coolly, determined not to let him get her. "She's got talent, smarts, and heart, and she's green as heck," he said. There's no way he'll do well today. I guess we'll find out, won't we?" Christine took a deep, calming breath, and then heard her name called. "Excuse me," she said to Ross, false politeness drooping from her voice. "I have a blue ribbon to win." As she turned just to go into the ring, she saw Ross going behind her. Then she was in the ring, touching her finger to her hat in salute to the judges' panel. In truth, she knew that she couldn't hope for a blue ribbon today, not on Jazz. The filly was great, but she was just too unschooled. Very few 3-year-olds ever compete in 3-day eventing, and more experience in tempered horses was necessary, but Christina would be content with indecent showing with the valuable experience it would give them a team. "Just do your best, sweetie," a soothing voice said. "You'll know you're doing, and so does Jazz. Considerate on your filly and trust each other." Christine smiled at the sound of an familiar voice. She straightened her shoulders, took a deep breath, and began. First move, a measured simmer 20 paces. Christina thought, giving Jazz a nearby invisible sign. "Then we'll turn to do a set-off left side steps, following by a leg wheels." And so their performance began.
The night before Christmas.
Night before Christmas.
'Tis the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creaking was stirring, not even a mouse.
A little slower.
The stockings are hung
Louder.
by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nested all snug in their beds, with visits of sugar plums dancing their heads. And Mama in her chaffing, and I in my cap, had just settled our barns for a long winter's nap, when out of the loom there's such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, and threw up the sash. The moon was bested of new fallen snow, gave the lustre of midday to objects below, when what to my wonder I should appear but a madder sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, which a little old driver so and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More replied the eagles, of course. They called and whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now, Dancer, now, Dixon and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner, on Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, down, dash away all. As the dry leaves that before the wind hurried the fly, when they met with a obstacle mounting the sky, so up to the housetop the horses they flew with a silent fall of toys and St. Nicholas too, and then with a twinkle I heard on the roof a cracking of pun on each little toy. As I drew my head in and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed in fur from head to his foot, and the clothes were as tashed with ashes and soot. The bottle of toys had flang on his back, and he looked like a platter just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimplets, how merry, his cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry, his gruel-like mouth with drawn up a bow, and a bread of a chin was white as the snow, and the stump of a pick he held tight in his teeth, and a smoke encircled his head like a wreath. He had a bored face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and laughed when he saw him, a sprite of himself, a wink of his eye, and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to do. I spoke not a word, but with strength to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk. And laying a finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod up the chimney he rose. He sprang as the went to team gave him a whistle, and away they flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him, except ere he drove out the sky.
Happy Christmas to all good night. You have to say that's part of the story.
Oh.
No, that's what he said. See?
Happy Christmas to all, and all
To all. And,
good night.
Up on the housetop, reindeer paws. Out jumped good old Santa Claus. Down through the chimney with lots of toys, all for the little ones' Christmas joy. Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Oh, up on the housetop, click, click, click. Down through the chimney with old Saint Nick. Down through the chimney with old Saint Nick. We wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring wherever you are. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, like a light bulb, and a flashlight. And if you ever saw him, you would even say it glows like a flashlight. All of the other reindeers used to laugh and call him names like Pinocchio. They wouldn't let poor Rudolph join in the reindeer games like Monopoly. Then on foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, ho, ho, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then all the other reindeers loved him as they shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history like Columbus. Away in a manger, no crib for his bed, the little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. The stars in the sky looked down where he lay, the little Lord Jesus asleep in the hay. Oh, come all the faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye, oh, to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, Christ the Lord. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round your virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. The bird dashing through the snow on a one-horse open sleigh. Over the fields we go, laughing all the way, ha ha ha, bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love sent to me a partridge in a pear tree. On the second day of Christmas, my true love sent to me two turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the third day of Christmas, my true love sent to me three French hens, two turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love sent to me four calling birds, three French hens, two turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the fifth day of Christmas, my true love sent to me five golden four calling birds, three French hens, two turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the sixth day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 6 geese a-laying, 5 golden rings, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French